Hey everybody, Kenny Wisdom here. Welcoming you back to the final round, round 3 of our Donphan Battle Tower, playing against Tiger King 17. Looks like we're going to get to go first. We are 2-0, so hopefully we can rattle off that perfect record. Going to start Fanfi. I actually haven't had any choices about which which Pokemon to start with in this series, which isn't too unusual. So let's see here. Playing against a Mewtwo EX. I think this is an interesting spot. We can either pass the turn, save the Donphan, but not have an energy. We can Ultra Ball for something. I think we're just actually going to end here, reset our hand a bit, use our resources in the best way, and hopefully, yeah, as I said, hopefully hit the Halucha. I'm actually not going to attach, I don't think, because a DCE Muscle Band will lead to a knockout. So I think, actually, I guess we should might as well attach to the Halucha. And I'm just going to end my turn. A few decks play Mewtwo right now. Once again, our opponent playing Charon's a really good sign for us. So there's a Shaman. That leads me to believe this is likely Fairies, one of the Aromatisse decks, but Basic Grass does not lead me to believe that. So, interesting choice by our opponent. Passing the turn back to us. I think we're just going to go ahead and evolve. Attach here. Opponent didn't seem to have much, so not really. Actually, let's go ahead and just versus Seeker for N. Our opponent has a bunch of cards in hand. We can at least knock them down to 6 from 7. Ultra Balling away. Halucha. Fighting Stadium, I suppose. Halucha could be important, but we think we have enough of them. Gonna get a Sigilyph. Play it. Let's go ahead and bike for 2. And do 80 damage. And I think we're just going to go ahead and go into this Robo Substitute. The Sigilyph, we want to be able to retreat before we do anything, and the Halucha can prove really good against this deck of what seems, I was going to say what seems to be Mono EX, I believe it's a Charmander and a Virizion EX. Interesting. Very interesting. So, on with our next deck from our opponent. Looks like he might just be playing a mishmash of cards that he owns. But he does have this. He does seem to have some sort of streamlined. He has, Grass Energy, Virizion EX, and Grass types. So looks like it might be just a kind of fancy Virizion deck. Maybe plays Charizard for the mirror. Playing a few Unorthodox cards, but let's see. Let's see where we get. Ooh, Grass Energy, perfect. There's the Float Stone off the top. Attach there. Discard this guy. Promote. I'm not going to bother playing any of these cards. Would rather save my resources for when I'm not taking 2 prizes. I'm going to go ahead and send up the Sigilyph. The only thing that can damage that is a Charmander. I'm not too afraid of that right now. Drawing Lysander, very nice. And a Strong Energy. So one thing I think that's actually kind of valued but overlooked, I guess, in these Donphan decks is the ability to just not play cards. You need somewhat of a setup. I'd like to have another Fampi here. I'd like to have another Safeguard, or maybe another Robo Substitute, but I'm not really looking for anything in particular. So these turns, like every turn that you can play the game but not play supporter, just is so much, so good for your late game. I think so. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think we're just gonna go ahead and Lysander this Shaman and try to finish the game as quickly as possible. Oh, he has resistance. Oops, that was a mistake. Making a lot of silly mistakes here that could actually cost us. As I just said, it was great when you don't use resources, and now we're actually using resources, so pretty poor on my part. I apologize for that. Pokemon fan clips. Let's see what this guy's got going on in his deck. Thankfully, we haven't used really any of our carded Rana's resources. We're holding an N, which is quickly becoming less useful, but Colress and Juniper are always going to be great. Reshiram. Oops. Ooh, Victini. He might just not have a way to retreat here, which would be excellent for us. Oh, scoop up Cyclone. Wow, he really got us. Not only did we misplay, but he got us good. Silver Bangle up this Donphan. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Colress here. 6 cards is fine, and I need to start building up other things. Substitute is fine. Siglist fine. Muscle Band Hawlucha. Retreat. Knock out the Charmander. Send up the Siglist. Now I'm at 3 prizes, which is kind of awkward, but I probably does have that Reshiram there, and I imagine might drop some more non-EXs. It's one of those things where once you already have the Reshiram on board, you already have a non-EX target, so it doesn't really matter what you drop. You might not want to drop things like this Charmander just because it's so much more easy to knock out than the Reshiram is, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You still have targets. So I think we're just going to retreat into Donphan and attack for the knockout. Send up the Sigilyph, and unless something crazy happens, we should have game very soon. Unfortunately, we haven't done a Phanpy, but we also haven't been playing our dry supporters that much, so I can't put too much blame on our luck. Hopefully, he does not have a way to knock out the Donphan. That would set us pretty far behind, actually, if he had something like a way to power up the Shaman and then a Lysander. It'd be pretty bad for us, but doesn't look like that's the case. But he is building up the Shaman now. And we draw the Phanpy. Alright. Draw the Phanpy. Attach to it. Muscle Band. Don't particularly want to Juniper here. I don't want to get rid of the Donphans and all that. So we're just going to go ahead. Attack. Send up the Sigilyph. And again, if he knocks out our Donphan here, we could be in some trouble, but we have another Donphan with Juniper backup, so unless he ends us here, actually knock out Donphan, end us to 1, could actually lose us this game. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I think even then we have quite a few outs. There's the retreat, there's a Shaman, Lysander is coming. Oh, nope. Ooh. Maybe he didn't understand the interaction. Let's go ahead and retreat, so 40. Yeah, this should be a knockout. And that's the game. We rattle off a 3-0. Let's switch into my Sigilyph, and let's see what we get from our prize wheel. Hoping for a mystery gift. Mystery gift one time. Mystery gift one time. Come on. Oh, we did it. Alright, let's see what our mystery gift is. Boom, 25 trainer tokens. Not as good as a pack, but I will take it. So that's it for these rounds. Join me in the conclusion, the wrap-up video in just a few moments.